G'day folks, this is going to be my first video on repairing my dad's General Electric RS8V1 Stereogram. It's from 1965. My dad acquired it in around 2004 or 5, I think. I was about 14 or 15 anyway when we got it. And it worked fine then. The turntable didn't work. It originally had a Garrard AT6 in it, but it was replaced with a BSR 3-speed changer. And it was seized when we got it, as typical BSRs that haven't been used for a while are. So that's the unit up there on the bench, facing, with obviously the front facing away from us, and that's the reason we're not on the bench. We're here on the little table here. And the reason why it's up on the bench and not on the floor away from where I need to work is because I have to bring the Tirana in and out every night until I've got the carport back up and repaired and I've got somewhere to put it safe. So anyway, this is my garage while we're here. We've got my two little disco speakers there and my turntables. The mixer's hiding behind there. My lighting controllers and my garage stereo at the moment. And yeah, a lot of all the parts for the Tirana and some other bits and pieces. And yeah, typical garage. Anyways, so that's the unit. It's an RS8V1. We'll get a close-up of that. There we go. Manufactured by James N. Kirby under license from GE Company USA. It's got roller 12-inch speakers in it, so it actually sounds quite good. I think they're dual cones. I'm not going to pull them off and have a look, but I'm pretty sure they are a dual cone unit. That's the model stamping, if anyone's interested. 12MX00 or 00 and 26/15, whatever that means. That's another BSR changer, a 4-speed one out of a HMV 8+8 from 1972. Now that I took out of that unit because the unit itself was failed and I didn't end up fixing it, which I should have, but I kept the turntable out of it as a spare. Obviously that's where the chassis was. The tuner chassis is just sitting in there at the moment. There's no electrolytics in that, so I'm probably going to leave that well enough alone. There's my lighting bar and a few other things I've been doing in the disco projects, but for right now we're focusing on this radio chassis, and in particular the amplifier chassis. So it's got 6DX8 valves, two of them for each channel. Obviously it's stereo. I think it's a push-pull configuration. I'm not 100% on this sort of stuff. And this is actually my first valve chassis that I've ever worked on. So, and I've watched a lot of people like David Tipton and Mr. Carlson's Lab and a bunch of many other YouTubers of various disciplines, you know, and various yeah, so I think I lost the audio there. In various other disciplines, yeah. So that's what we're looking at. So it's got 5 Ducon electrolytics in here. We've got two 100 mics at 50 volts. We've got two 60s at 350 there and there, and we've got an 8 at, I believe it's 450. Yep. We've got a bunch of ceramic 0.01 mics. I think they're 0.01s. Yes, they're 0.01 microfarad. A couple of poly style caps, one there and one there. Look, honestly, someone who knows this better than me will probably know exactly what they're looking at, but I don't exactly. So this is just the amplifier chassis. There's just the 2 valves per channel. So we've got four audio output valves, and we've got the rectifier over there. So, and I've also added in a fuse holder, so it's not hooked up yet. I've only drilled it and fitted it. So I'm going to run the active through a fuse first, probably just a 1 or a 2 amp fuse, absolute value fuse, so that way we have a bit more protection with old stuff like this. I've already metered out both the mains transformer and the output transformer windings, and they're all testing fine. So I've only got 2 caps to replace at the moment because the other ones are on back order. They haven't arrived yet. So we've just got some generic, let's focus. See if I can get it to focus on that. There we go, 50 volt by 100 microfarad, so that will take the place of these, and it's amazing just how much things have shrunk in 56 years. So we'll be replacing those first. I've already taken them out of circuit and measured them. Well, I've already lifted the lead on this one here, the chassis lead on this one, so let's just test a couple of them on camera. We'll hook that to there. So I've just got one of these little generic multifunction testers, and it seems to work okay. I've double checked it with a decent meter, and it's about right as far as the capacitance values go. So this one here, okay, it's measuring 121.6, and with a V-loss of 0.7% and ESR of 0.75 ohms. Drifted a little high, but I mean there is a bit of tolerance there too, so let's get that out. Nonetheless, we're going to be replacing all of these electrolytics at a minimum. It hasn't been operated, this thing hasn't seen power in about 17 years. 16, or probably about 16 or 17 years. We've been here for 15 and it's never been plugged in here. The last house we're at where we got it, it only got powered up, a handful of times, and then it sat for a couple of years before we moved here, so a year or two at least. So let's test this one over here, the identical one on the other channel. Okay, so this one's got a V-loss of 0.5 and a higher ESR of 2.6 ohms. Let's check one of these big ones over here. We'll check this 60. Okay. Okay, so that's measuring 66. Not too bad actually. It's actually not measuring like, it's not bad for what it is. But that's at a couple of volts. So once you power it up, it might be a different story. So we'll go across this 8. This one's an 8 at 450. Oh, just went off this. It's taking a while. Okay, so that's measuring 22. So that's drifted very high. We've got 3.6 ohm ESR and 5.9% V-loss. So yeah, that one's well and truly done. That's also out of circuit, so that's not measuring anything else. Yeah, it's supposed to be 8. It's 22, so that's not good at all. And let's measure this last one. You'll have to forgive my camera work. I'm not a professional YouTuber, as you've probably seen from the handful of videos that are only on this channel. But I hope to change that in the future. I'm trying to work on my talking and provide speech that isn't irritating to people. This one is, if that's reading right, well and truly gone, seeing as we're down at 14.72 nanofarads. And it's supposed to be 60 microfarads. Yep, I've just adjusted those leads and checked again. It is well and truly gone. So, yep, these are a ripe candidate for a replacement. So we're going to start just by replacing these two. I'm going to spare you the lifting of the components and putting the new ones in. It's nothing special. You've all seen it before. We're going to take these ones out. I'm probably just going to J-hook them in, to be honest. We'll see how I go. We'll see how much lead I have left and how much I trim off. And yeah, I'm probably just going to J-hook them in. It'll work and it's going to be fine. I'm not striving for, I'm not worried about anyone else looking at it and going, who did this? Because it's pretty much just going to be me. So, and I just want it to work and be safe. So we're going to start by fitting these two new caps here. As you can see, I've moved everything to the little bench in the middle of the garage here. So I can just enough to do these two caps tonight, and that'll be it for me. Anyways, I'll bring you back when I've got them fitted. Okay, we're back, and we fitted the two 100 microfarad 50 volt caps. As you can see, they're just in place there. The old ones here. And while I had the iron out, I also hooked up the fuse holder in line with the main active input. With the line in from the mains. So we've got a mains fuse now. That's just moved that over to the end of the fuse holder, and this one's come around and goes to this socket here, which is just a switching loop. Takes power up to the power on/off switch and back down to the unit to power it up and off, to turn it on and off. So that's done now. So I just have to put a fuse in that, and those two electrodes are done. And when the other ones arrive, I'll do the other three, and that'll be pretty much the same process. So I'll bring you back once I've done those. Anyways, thank you for watching. I've got a few other projects on the go. So we've got the stereogram there, which I just want to get fixed up and working so I can get it off my bench. And we're also going to look more into my vintage disco setup, which is modelled on the one my father used many years ago. There's some lighting controllers there and some old Par 38 disco lighting that I've made up, and got a Jan's 4-pack there, an old PVP A200, a couple of Pioneer turntables that closely mimic the ones my father had. He had AGS brand ones, but they were basically the same turntable as far as vintage and functionality. And of course we've got the mixer down there, which is covered with that green cloth to keep it clean, and I will bring it out in another video and I will go through the whole setup in fact. And what led me to finally recreate the setup that I'd wanted to for so long. And we've got some boxes up there. One of them's actually in fact that one on the right there is now a combination cable packer and power distro, which I'll show in a later video as well. And we've got some light boxes there. A couple of them are UV tubes and a couple of them are R95 coloured globes. I bought those boxes as is, with lights in them, but I've modified them for my own use. So yeah, and we'll probably do some more on the Tirana later on as work comes on. And my express van turbo conversion, we're going to slap a turbo on the factory engine, and all the supporting mods that it needs. I've done turbo conversions before, been there, done this, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Please, I'd love your feedback on my video style. Remember, this is early days for me. I'm filming off my phone in my garage. The fan's on, so that's probably what you can hear, with the squeaking and probably the wind blowing past the mic. I'm not sure. I haven't watched this yet, but I'm sure by the time I do watch this, I'll be aware of it. Anyways, any feedback is really appreciated, and I'd really like to get this thing off the ground and start doing some more videos like this and more demo videos, and hopefully with a little bit more production value. But thank you for watching this video, and I hope to make some more, and I hope to get some content out there for everyone. And I'd love to hear from you. And this is my just thought I'd while I'm here, this is my little sanctuary. This is my garage. This is where, and it has been for many years now, and it's my place. I like it. So please, any constructive criticism or any feedback on what I should do in regards to filming, anything you guys want to see regarding anything you've seen in this video, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, take care everyone. Cheers.